morning. I got a little bit of a late start, but I'm already working on having a little electrolyte mix. It's already 5:38 in the morning. I'm way behind. But I just wanted to say I was checking out a lot of your comments this morning because in the past 28 days, our channel has grown by over 1,300 subscribers. And there are a lot of new questions. Many of those people are seeing my very first video and wondering if anything has happened since then. And a lot of people are watching the most recent videos like this one and wondering how I got here. Well, it's all out there. If I repeat everything every time in every video, it'll be very difficult. But that's one of the points why I put the opening intro that's 30 seconds long to show the progression of how I got to where I am in a very quick time. But it definitely doesn't incorporate all that I've been through and all the different changes that I've had and why I'm doing Lion Diet, a ruminant meat, water, and salt diet that is very restrictive. But a lot of people get stuck in the notion that that's all you have to have forever and ever on Lion Diet. That may be true for some people. Like Mikhaila Peterson seems to have had a very difficult time reincorporating any new foods. I, on the other hand, I've had a similar experience with all vegetables, just about. Potatoes don't seem to bother me, but I still don't want them. I still can't reincorporate pork or chicken, mostly because I can't stand the way they taste now. When you've been eating ruminant animals as long as I have, then your body kind of gets used to the plant toxins being out of the meat, as well as all the other stuff that omnivores like pigs and chickens eat that you're not consuming when you consume them. And now those meats just don't appeal to me at all. So that's what it comes down to with Lion Diet. And if you have autoimmune disorders or possibly gut issues that are undiagnosed like I did, and for all I know, it could have been some sort of autoimmune disorder, I've just never had such a diagnosis, then Lion Diet might be the way for you to go because it helps deal with those things. It was Mikhaila Peterson's story and all the trauma that she went through in her early life and the healing she got from Lion Diet that turned me onto this idea. My doctors couldn't tell me why my gut issues were so bad and what was going on with my body. I now know that it was greatly related to anxiety and depression, but also it was tremendously exacerbated, or even the precursor for the problem was the diet I was eating, the standard American diet, filled with all the vegetable oils that are horrible for your body. You need to research seed oils if you really want to know. All the sugar, which is horrible for your body and is basically just a drug to keep you addicted. And also things like flour and refined salts, enriched wheat, all of these things that have been tampered with to make them taste better, to make them more palatable, so that companies that make food can sell a lot more of something to fill you, but have very little in it that's good for you. And it's inexpensive to make foods like that. So learning to kick this crazy diet that we were raised up into eating in the current Western culture was a huge boon for my being able to not only get my body under control, but also to get that anxiety under control and to get my mind right. Now, I got to credit Jordan Peterson with a lot of that, and of course years of Bible doctrine study for helping with that. But I'm stubborn, apparently. I'm one that likes to just beat my head up against a wall and learn every lesson the hard way. I'm tired of learning lessons the hard way. I have really learned since doing this diet that if you just make incremental steps in the right direction, you start addressing those little issues that are around your life, and eating a diet that is going to eliminate a lot of garbage from your health is going to help you tremendously moving forward. It has me. So with that, I'm going to finish this up and get started on these push-ups, and let's talk. So here in this video, you're going to see me doing these push-ups here. And something I don't always do, which is get a good stretch ahead of time, is something I'm starting with here. And then I'm going to move on to do the push-ups themselves. And I'm pushing to do as many as I can up until about 3 before fail. I don't want to push all the way to failure every time, especially when I'm doing these every day, because I'm going to kill my muscles that way. But I'm seeing a lot of benefit just in the first week of doing it like this, where I do them until just before fail, and I do 5 sets like the set you're watching right now. In addition to the push-ups, here at the end of that set, which I did 25 in this set, and I typically hit around that same number. I try to push it a little further, but I realize I'm going beyond that number that I need to be at when I do. And it's getting higher each time. It was in the low 20s, and now it's up to the mid 20s, up to almost the 30s. I've hit 30 a few times. Now I did some push-ups early in this diet where I was hitting 50 in a click, but I was doing my push-ups wrong. I had my arms way out on the sides, and now I'm doing them more accurately. And that was a big ticket for realizing why they were a lot harder than I thought. But when you do a exercise the right way, it's not about how many numbers you can do. At the end of the exercise, you can see here, I am doing Superman stretches, is what I've called them anyway. I learned this from another guy on YouTube that his channel is called Athlean-X. And he talked about this being a good way to counter the feeling where your shoulders start to feel like they're hunching over from doing a lot of push-ups, and you get this thing going on with your neck. These Superman stretches help to counter that tenseness in the muscle after the push-ups. So it helps to regulate that push-pull difference that you're going to experience. Now I also do some occasional curls and I do some occasional pull-ups. But right now I'm focusing on this because time constraints more than anything. And I want to work on my chest. That's been a difficult thing for me to do. So that's why I've made it a 50th birthday challenge. I'm glad there's a street light here for a moment. This is what it looks like when I get started in the morning right now. I can't wait until the time change in a week because it is so dark this early in the morning. It's 6:45 right now. You'd think there'd be a little bit of sun out, but nothing. I know you can't see much of anything here, but I'm coming up to another street light. So I just wanted to say, I don't recommend walking in the dark on dark country roads like this, like I'm doing. But I will tell you that I step off the road when cars come. So be very careful when you go out walking this early. Well, I am 2 miles in, almost. 1.88 miles, and it's barely bright enough to record. So I'm finally able to talk to you some more. I gotta say, rucking this weighted vest really makes a difference. It's forcing me to walk faster because I want to hurry up and get this off my traps. And I would encourage you, if you're buying one of these like the one I bought, I'll put a link in the description so you can get it if you like it. But get those shoulder pads, because once you get up to 30 plus pounds, walking without those pads, I had them pulled all the way forward and I was like, man, my traps are killing me. But once I slid it back, it made a huge difference. But I want to tell you, rucking like this, I really feel it in my outer thighs now when you get a little heavier weight on there. And I actually bumped it up to 32 pounds just yesterday. And today, because I went walking so early while it was still dark, and there's a bunch of wild pigs running around out here, and Florida's also known for bears and panthers, although I haven't ever seen any around here. Now, I heard some deer this morning, but they're not the scariest thing in the world. I got about 6 extra pounds I'm carrying with it too. Something that's mounted with a flashlight and can take care of danger. So I'm rucking about 38 pounds today. And boy, do I feel it. And it feels good. But it's really putting a lot of pressure on this same area that I'm worried about when I'm doing too many push-ups. So it's forcing me to walk with my shoulders back, and that helps with my posture, so I'm happy about that. But let me just say, I also did some curls this morning, and that was to have some counter on the pushing. I wanted to have a little bit of something. I didn't do a lot. I just did, 20 curls with 2 25-pound weights, just to keep things going while I'm focused on this challenge. If I had the time in the day to do all the exercises in the world out there, that would be great. But
I'm not trying to look like my childhood hero Lou Ferrigno right now. I just don't want to look like this next time I stand next to him. I would be happy just to have solid features and a little definition, because I've never really had that in my life. I had a little bit when I was a teenager, right out of the wrestling team. But I'm enjoying this new me. And I want to be able to remind you guys, I'm no expert at any of this. I am not a nutritionist. I'm not a trainer of any kind. I'm not a therapist. I'm just a regular guy who has found the fountain of youth in the Lion Diet. And no, I did not start exercising long before this. I had exercised a lot in my life, but I think the last time I did any standard exercise was probably in my late 30s, and that was when I did the Insanity beach body workout for about 6 weeks, and then that was over with. Everything got nice and solid underneath all that fat, but it didn't do anything like what I'm doing now, and I didn't stick with it like I'm sticking with it now, and that's the key. But when I started, I wasn't exercising at all. I was very averse to exercise, like many of you I'm sure are, because you don't have time in the day, you don't have the energy, you don't have the motivation, you have the want to do it, and you know you need to, but it's just not there. Doing this diet is what brought it there for me, because within 2 months I said, I've got to start doing a little something. Now that I'm starting to see this fat go away, I want to build up what's underneath it. And I had the energy to do it. And when I say I had the energy to do it, it didn't start off with as much energy as I have now. But I started off doing 10 push-ups in the morning, 10 in the afternoon, 10 in the evening, and that went on for a couple of months. And then I kept building and building, and then I was doing a bunch of weights and things, and I have a video back when I did a workout. But you know, shortly after that video, I never even made a part 2 because I was doing more than I could handle in short periods of time because of work and trying to maintain a channel and maintaining a family. You know, it's hard to balance all these things. So most of what you're seeing has come from me just building up to that. And then I started walking every day, and that was where I really started to get back into exercise around August maybe of last year. And I've been walking roughly 3 miles a day, 6 days a week since. And then I started adding the squats challenges and the push-up challenges this year, and those have been building up some areas that I've been letting go. So it takes time. It takes time, and you don't have to be, you don't need a gym membership and to do every single weight out there. There's certain exercises you can do that make a big difference. But I can't stress enough doing something to counter the bending of the shoulders forward when you're doing this many push-ups. So that's why I do those Superman stretches that you see at the end of my sets, because it pushes that muscle back and helps to loosen what you just tightened by doing push-ups. So the point is, I'm not here to instruct you on how to do whatever it is you're gonna do, whether it's diet or exercise. I'm just letting you know that if you were in the position I was in a year and a half, 2 years ago, then you can turn it around. You can lose the weight. You can overcome the anxiety and the fear and the difficulty of life through diet and exercise. Now, we've been hearing that all of our lives. The only problem is most of the experts out there have been telling us the wrong diet. They've been telling us low fat, lots of juice, lots of sugar, lots of grains and carbohydrates. That stuff's gonna kill you. And even worse is the seed oils. Lord have mercy. Those are, once you learn about those and you start researching what seed oils started out as and what they do to your body, you'll stop cooking stuff in seed oils. But it's hard because everywhere you go to eat out, they're probably using seed oils. And if you've got leaky gut like I had, or whatever it was I had, I never actually got a diagnosis, then the lectins and all the vegetables and spices and everything will begin to get in there and cause havoc. And I just had to make a huge change. But it's been the best change ever, because being an elimination diet, it has taught me not only to eliminate the bad foods that I eat, but it's taught me to eliminate bad in general from my life. And I was watching a video yesterday with two of my heroes right now on YouTube, Dr. Jordan Peterson and Dr. Huberman. I can't remember his first name right off the top of my head, but they put out a video yesterday that was talking about basically mental health and anxiety and those issues, manic and depressive, and it was very insightful for me. I'll put a link for it in the video here. If you've had any issues, and I know that some of you had because I've talked to some of you and your experience is very similar to mine, you'll find this video very enlightening and very helpful, very eye-opening, possibly convicting and challenging too, but those are the things that move you in the right direction. Don't be afraid to challenge yourself. I'm not telling you to do it exactly the way I'm doing it, but start doing something to get your health together and stop walking with the herd and all this horrible food that's in the standard American diet, eating out all this garbage. I mean, it's bad enough, you know, the employees at these restaurants aren't always very hygienic, but on top of that, they're using the standard American diet, cheapest garbage they can come up with, to put in your body because they want you to spend a lot of money, but they don't want to spend a lot of money making the food. You can understand that. That's how business works. Well, I'm not condemning them. I'm just not eating out anymore. It takes a lot of discipline that I've learned since doing this diet to be able to do that, and a life of discipline that I haven't known, I've wanted most of my life. But a life of discipline like this, whew, oh, it's so much better than what it was before. And it helps keep that anxiety and that depression at bay if you're subject to those things. So I hope this video helps you. As all of my videos, I always hope they give you something that inspires you to be better today than you were yesterday, to take one step to go a little bit further in the right direction where you want to be. Because I truly believe if we have a society of healthy and happy individuals, we'll have a much better society, and life will be better, not only for you but for everybody. So that's all I got to say on the subject today. I'll see you next time.
If we pay extra, could we maybe get some grease or fat?
Oh, one last thing. Screw it. Get up and do it.